Hello and welcome to the latest video from Express Review, the channel where I review items purchased from AliExpress. In today's video, I'm going to test a dual USB charger. It's a DC to DC buck converter based on the LM2596S regulator. And in the listing here, it says that it'll take anything from 6 volts to 40 volts and an output of 5 volts up to 3 amp max, which is divided between the two USB outputs. Let's have a look at the spec sheet for the regulator itself. At 12 volts version of it, so in a 12 volt configuration, the maximum efficiency is 90%. That's under ideal conditions. A 5 volt version, basically the maximum efficiency you have is 80%. Anyway, let's move over to the bench and test this buck converter. Okay, so I'm going to configure my load tester with minimum voltage of 4.4 volts, which I believe is within the USB spec. And I'm going to start off with 1 amp load. Make sure my input power supply is on, and actually let's just set this to 6 volts. Okay, 603 amp. Let's turn it back on. So it's on. Let's see if this regulator works or not. So at 6 volts input, it's giving me an output of 4.27 volts at 1 amp. Let's see actually. So I can get about 80 milliamps at with it getting 6 volts input. So I'm going to bump up the voltage on this to 12 volts and see whether I can get basically 1.5 amps on this USB channel. So yeah, it handles that pretty easily. So I'm getting about 4.5 volts to 1.5 amp output. And let's see if we can take it any further. Let's see how far we can take it before it. So 1.8, yeah, 1.8 seems to be the threshold if the input voltage is 12 volts. So if the input voltage is, let's take it to about 20 volts. So at 20 volts, I think I can take it to about 1.8, 1.9 it drops. And at 30 volts, let's see. So I would say 1.8 amps per port is pretty much the maximum this can grow. Let's just see how hot the regulator is. Yeah, the regulator is warm to touch. I can keep my finger there for a few seconds. It's not that hot. Let's see what happens if I plug something into the second port. I'm just going to plug my Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge. This is going to be a bit tricky. It's a bit of a tight fit. Okay, and okay, so I'm drawing about 0.46 amps on the second port. So the input is 0.51 amps at 30 volts, which is about 15 watts. And last thing I'm going to test is actually bring this back to 12, not 1 volts, 10 volts. So let's just test how steady it is. So as I take the voltage up, how the regulator, how efficiently the regulator is working. So the output voltage seems to be pretty stable in both cases. As you can see, I'm increasing the voltage. I'm going to take it all the way up to 36 volts, which is the advertised maximum. So that's it. Decent module. It's for $1.80 you get two USB ports which are capable. I would say they're probably capable of doing 1.5 amps at each port, which is pretty reasonable. Most phones will not throw more than that.